You have to have belief in the system and not be swayed by other people. And that's where, again, confidence comes in. Drawdown months, but something that is normal in trading and something that I don't think enough emphasis is put on, especially for those of you that are new to the industry. All you see is people showcasing a very lavish lifestyle and they perhaps never lose and they just win. However, I hate to break it to you, this is just a load of waffle, and a lot of the time it's because they have various different deals with brokerages or whatever it might be, and they make money regardless of if their trade wins or loses, right? So just bear that in mind, because that false image and that false program that you see is leading you to believe something that's not true. I want to get that point across. You know, losing months, losing periods, losing streaks, they can happen. Anyone telling you otherwise, they've got a 100% win rate, they never lose, sign me up. Trying to avoid losses is very unlikely going to get you anywhere. Believe me, I've searched for it. I've searched for the perfection and trying to always validate a loss and remove it in some way, shape or form. But what you'll realize is it is just probabilities playing out. And as long as your system has a good win rate, and if you're above 50% and you have a 1 to 2 risk reward, you will be a profitable trader. You may not be making 10% months, but again, they are very unrealistic to assume you can make 10% every single month. And again, the prop firm industry has led us to believe that's normal. No time limit firms are incredible because they're taking that extra pressure off you. And even though you can have months where you might make 8 to 10%, thinking you can do that every month is a little bit delusional. The kind of images and the beliefs you have and your identity of what you deem to be trading may be very skewed from what it actually is. And obviously I'm making this video because drawdown's normal and it's something that I never used to be able to deal well with. However, I've recently just come off the back of a losing streak, which I've now turned into a positive. May for me was very slow. 2 weeks where I didn't do anything, no trades at all. And then all of a sudden, 4 hours back to back, sat in drawdown, pretty hefty, minus 4%. And I was like, yo, what the hell? I've not traded for this long, got this happening. It is what it is. However, I did close May out for 4%, just shy of 4%. You know, I took 3 trades back-to-back wins and we're all good. And again, that's just the reality of probabilities playing out. But the most important thing here was I stayed composed, sharp, focused, didn't change a single thing, and just ensured I was at the best I could possibly be so that I didn't miss the trades, I didn't hesitate on the trades, I didn't muck around, look for new systems, change anything. And I think this is where a lot of people are going wrong. They're immediately experiencing drawdown. Maybe their back testing results said they won't. And again, if your back testing results say you never lose, you are lying to yourself and there's no benefit from that. You can be a professional back tester, you can have all the graphs and the charts and look amazing, but all you're doing is fooling yourself, because if you're lying and you're deleting trades that wouldn't, you're like, I wouldn't take that, I wouldn't have done that, or I'll move that entry there, or I'll do that, you're going to go live and get smoked because you can't do that live. And that's where you might be taking re-entries or basic average bitch trades, just keep hitting the button, and before you know it, you're just plummeting your account into margin calls, and the brokers are like, yo, big man, you owe us some money. So again, make sure when you test, you're texting as if you would trade live. And also ensure that when you are testing, you're being realistic, recording things, because it is a simulated environment, right? And you're not going to have the emotional burden you'll have when you're live. I don't care what anybody says, back testing and live are completely different. And if you go back over any of my old videos, I've always said getting live market experience is absolutely crucial to truly developing as a professional trader. And you can get told all these stats from anyone, mentors, friends, whoever. But if you don't believe in them, if you don't have the results for yourself to see them with your own eyes, your own lens, it's very difficult in those scenarios for you to remain composed and for you to be sharp and to be consistent and have the self-belief, because potentially if you lack all that, it's because you're not doing the work in the first place. Now, you need to ask yourself, have you done the work? Do you know your edge inside out? Do you know these losing periods? Do you know these winning periods? You have to believe it. If you don't believe it, you're not going to be able to be composed enough. So then when next time you go on Twitter and you see Forex Smasher 69, who's getting about smashing all these different trades, you're going to naturally start to message them going, hey, what is it you do? Can I do this? Can I do that? What I'm trying to get at here is you have to have belief in the system and not be swayed by other people. And that's where, again, confidence comes in. The second biggest thing is don't start changing your risk. What a lot of people do when they go in drawdown is they just go, I'm going to go half risk. Say you're risking 1, you lose 5 in a row. They're like, I'm going to risk half only. Now, yes, I get it. You're trying to save yourself from that dreaded number of -8, -10. However, at the same time in doing this, if you then win that next trade, it won't feel like a win, and you will have messed with the probabilities because you'll only gain, let's say 3R if that's your average risk reward. If you've risked half now, you're only going to gain 1.5%. So if you're in 5% drawdown, now you're in 3.5% drawdown, which yes, it's closer to break even. But then if you were to happen to take L's again, because now the probabilities have gone back to L's, you're just going back to that 5%. Whereas if you'd won it with a 1 to 3, you'd only be 2% away. You'd be a lot closer, right? So for me, I don't personally have that because I know that my loss streak isn't that big. Now, if you take a lot of trades, you're a frequent trader, maybe a scalper, lower time frames, whatever it might be, and you do take 10 L's in a row, for example, which I don't think you should be doing if you're going for these challenges. I just think 10 L's in a row is not healthy for anyone. However, it could happen, right? The probabilities could change. New information could appear. You could have a bad month and you might break that 4-loss streak to become an 8-loss streak. It could happen, right? And that's the thing. Anything can happen. It's life. We're not going to dwell on it. We're not going to waste energy on it. We're just going to react and adapt when these things happen. So I can see why people do it. However, for me, I would feel like it's counterintuitive long term because whatever your risk started with, I feel like it should remain. Again, my opinion, other people, I know many of your friends that do decrease their risk. And again, like I say, it's what works for you. But just bear in mind, if you start decreasing that risk, I know people that have gone as low as 0.1%, you're making a mountain to climb to get out of drawdown, therefore making it a lot harder for yourself. So my advice would be don't change anything. Worst case, if you blow the account up, if it's a challenge, even if it's a live account, you've either got your money back or you've thrown away 400 or 500 quid. It's not like blowing up your own 10 grand, 100 grand, 50 grand, whatever it might be, right? You've blown up a couple of £100. So again, there's not too much downside. Like if you look at worst case, that's worst case. It's not that bad, right? No one's going to put a gun to your head, shoot you in the head because you blew an account up. You're literally just going to have to deal with, lost some money. I can go again. I can learn from this. And that's what it's about, right? These lessons we get is growth. But I think the biggest takeaway for this is like drawdown's normal. And I just want people to understand that it can happen. But it's how you manage it and how you deal with it. And anyone can trade in profit. When you're in profit, it's easy, right? Because you're just risking profit. Real traders are made in drawdown. To come out of drawdown and finish in profit, for me, that's a sign of a consistent trader. Someone that goes into drawdown and can never get out, there's work to be done. And that's not necessarily to say it's a bad thing, but it's like, right, well, I need to work on this because if I do have a drawdown month, I shouldn't just be then like, subconsciously, every time I'm in drawdown, I lose my account, I've lost the account. And then you almost fall into that belief as you've lost it before you've even already tried. I never once had those thoughts. All I thought of is I will be out of drawdown, I'll be in profit. And this is where, again, I want to touch on, the no time limit challenges, the no time limit accounts have been incredible because I wasn't sat there going, I've only got 10 days left and I've got to get back into profit. I was like, I've got time. Tracking your performance, forecasting in the mornings, doing your end of day markups on missed trades, logging any bad trades, scoring your trades, high risk, low risk, right? I've spoken about this before. There's many different things you can be doing to ensure you're at peak performance, making sure you're getting the right sleep. Is there anything on your mind or any external pressures? Is there any finance problems? Is this your only source of income? Because if it is and you're in drawdown, it's a lot harder to deal with that drawdown when you've got to pay the bills and you're about to say to the missus, babes, we're on beans on toast for the rest of the month because I made no dough. That can add elements of pressure to you, but it also could add elements of pressure to your relationship, right? So again, it's why I've always said, don't just go all in on trading and that be your only thing, because it will add pressure in those months where you can have drawdown. And not enough people want to speak about drawdown, not enough people want to mention it because it's almost deemed as if you took a loss or you're in drawdown, you're a bad trader. But at the end of the day, I couldn't give a shit about being the best trader in the world. What I care about is making dough. No matter how good your chart looks, if at the end of the month your bank account hasn't got dough in it, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what market you caught and when you reversed it on a 1 pip stop loss and you caught 1 to a million. If it ain't adding up and actually making you considerable amounts of money, then what's the point? Because all you're doing in that phase is looking for validation of being the best. And again, it could be competition, it could be competitive traits from maybe a sporting background or previous elements of your life, which again is your image, which you need to dig into as why you're doing that, because it will relay into trading. You have to be more professional than ever in drawdown because you don't have room for error. I hope it's been a beneficial video. As always, I appreciate you all watching. If you've got any videos you would like me to make, drop them in the comments. I will see what I can do. And yeah, without further ado, peace and love, gang.